Well, hello, Angie.
Rebecca, great to see you.
Oh my goodness. Where have we been? I know.
Living life, living
Right?
life. What
Just
in
been
the well? We've
we've
been
been
doing what in the well?
what in the well, indeed. I'm just like I think I've been in a state where I've had to like do everything that I can. It's been a conscious effort to take care of my wellness lately. Sometimes you're just in that groove and you're like, I'm doing great. I'm doing all of the things that make me feel well. And you just take it for granted, I think. And
Mhm.
these last 2 months had other plans for me. Um, it was like, how serious am I really about my wellness? What needs to
Mhm.
change? And like, I've looked at ways to mix it up too. And so, oi, that's all I
Like
can
a good, sounds like you're doing a little remixing, like a good remix tape from the 90s.
say. Freaky.
Mixing it
Yeah.
up.
My wellness is like, what
Whoa,
wellness?
whoa, 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 whoa. Are you
Yeah.
sure?
Right. Yeah.
Well, I think that's like lively about our topic that we
Oh,
got today.
it really is. And we didn't know that. And so the thing is, we had planned on recording this, I don't know, a while ago, but I think that's part of it too. I think life was like, I think I'm going to let you have a little bit more change and transition before I let you talk about change and transition and dealing with stuff that life that chooses you as opposed to you choosing it. Right. So,
Totally, totally.
yeah.
So y'all, thanks for joining us again for another conversation. Our topic for today is how do you remain calm, confident, agile, flexible, like Rebecca just said, when you're going through life and
Yeah.
maybe a big change in your life or a transition or something difficult, maybe just a little bit of heaviness.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
so this is such a like as Rebecca said for her, it's also a very timely topic for me as well. So looking forward to getting into it today. So
Yeah.
we hope this is relevant and relevant for you as well. So Rebecca,
Hmm.
let's get into it.
Yeah.
Tell us like is there a story or something that's going on in your life right now where you're having to be agile and calm as you're
Hmm.
navigating a change?
Yeah. So mine is kind of internal, like there's some stuff going on in my life that is related to work and family, and it's a lot at once. And, historically, I have been a fixer. So I go into solution mode. I've always told my kids too, if they come to me with a problem, I'm like, all right, let's feel sorry for ourselves for a few minutes and then let's find a solution. And sometimes the solution is I just need to feel sorry for myself for a teeny bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for me, the biggest thing that's going on in my life right now is that I did start a new job that I'm so excited about it. It is super fun. I love the people I work with. It's unlike anything else I've ever experienced. It is for a local gym franchise in St. Louis, and I love the mission of the organization. I
Mm-hmm.
actually had been going to this gym since 2020. And, during a pandemic when it became kind of like my anchor inside of all this dystopian stuff that was going on with the pandemic. And it was a place that I could go and be around other humans and kind of just go through this weirdness together. Um, but I have to admit, like I've been doing coaching and working independently for a couple years. And in January, when this opportunity came up to serve my gym and the people who are affiliated with that mission, I just absolutely could not keep myself from taking advantage of it. But it was a complete life shift for me. All of these things that I had planned for myself, I had to look them in the eye and decide whether or not they got to stay. And it's been hard to make those decisions, and I've had to just kind of sit with that on occasion and say, I know that I'm doing the right thing with this work, but it doesn't necessarily make it easy to know what else I'm changing about my plans that I had before. Um,
Yeah.
that's, I mean, ultimately, that's just the biggest transition that I've gone through recently. And
So can I unpack that?
please,
So a couple of things that I'm hearing, and one is I just want to call this out. So when we say life change, that doesn't mean that the life change has to be bad. Like
Yeah.
you are going through a life change that's actually you're passionate about. It's a
Yeah.
light, you're excited, even as you're talking about the mission, it's exciting work.
Yeah.
Yet, even though it's a good change, it's disrupted,
Yeah.
right? The flow of it's just disrupted the flow. You're
We're
remixing,
pretty,
right?
yeah.
You're remix some things to kind of get back into that flow state. So
Yeah.
where would you say, and you kind of mentioned this a little bit, but just want to call it out, where you say you're winning with that change?
Well, I think that, I mean, we said at the beginning of this episode that it's, how can you reclaim calm? And I feel like forcing calm sometimes is something that we try to do, which can be kind of a misleading expectation, is that, I think when we're in pain, we try to hurry, hurry, hurry into getting into a calm state. And sometimes it's just more about knowing what in the past has helped you become calm and doing those things, whether or not your brain even wants to, knowing that the calm will eventually come, but sometimes you just have to walk through the messy stuff for a bit
Mhm.
in order to get there. You cannot force calm. Our bodies won't let us do that. Our brains won't let us do that. We kind of just have to process for a bit. And I think I have matured in that way over the years in setting my proper expectations and just letting myself, sit on the floor and feel my nervous system amplified for a bit, or just knowing that, like, in that season for a little bit, my family is going to have to figure out how to cook their own meals, or, you know what I mean? Like, let other people
Yeah.
step up. And that is the only way that I can ultimately level back out and reclaim calm. But you just kind of have to, like, go through the thing for a little bit.
So a couple things I'm hearing where you're winning, and course correct me or playback, like if it doesn't resonate, this is not true. But what I'm hearing is you've reset expectations,
Yeah.
almost lowered them.
Yeah.
What does winning look like in this season?
Right.
I'm not going to be able to cook. My kids are going to have to cook. But how do you look, like reset, go, what does winning look like in this season? And how do you reset expectations?
Yeah.
The other thing that I'm hearing you say is that while it's messy, your conditions, your circumstances, right? The transition is messy. What I hear you say is, how do I maybe stay calm or allow myself to be
Mhm.
and process through, even though it's messy? Like, do you have to show up messy? Do your thoughts have to be messy? Do your emotions have to be messy? And maybe it's a yes. Like a day I heard, like, yeah, my emotions need to be messy today, and I'm just gonna let it be.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the cool thing is I work for a gym, so I get to go into the gym and, like, release some of that energy. And doing that sometimes has just reminded me, like, why I chose this. I knew going into it that, we've talked before about the life pie, and each important area of your life gets a slice of the life pie, but they're never, ever, ever equal sizes, ever. That's never
Ever.
even in the history of ever happened. And so, but you can kind of adjust and try to get balanced in the way that your life pie works for you. And my work right now, going from, having gone from a part-time type of environment where I called the shots in my hours and, like, had different plans for my career. Now knowing that I have to reset and look at my life pie and go, all right, well, I'm going to allow this new career path to take up a bigger slice because it really means something to me and I'm really excited about it and I'm having so much fun. And I don't want to feel like I am eternally sacrificing every other slice of life pie. I just have to keep it in check. I know that for now, I just have to ask for help when I need it. I have to, something might have to go. I might have to ratchet back certain things that I was doing in terms of volunteerism or things that are important to me. But when the time is right and I feel like I'm kind of settled into this, I can choose then how big the other slices of life pie get to be. So I still
Love
feel like,
that.
yeah, thanks. I
So
still
good.
feel
It's
like
like,
I'm in
hey,
control. Yeah.
yeah, the work slice is expanding, which
Mhm.
means because there's not any more hours in the day, right? So the work
Right.
slice is expanding. What slice maybe needs to be supplemented with like help,
Yeah.
right? Or where can maybe let a couple things go for a little while.
Yeah. And I'm also dealing with some stuff in my personal life that's really hard. And it's like I have to give that the right slice of pie, but at the same
Mhm.
time, dealing with other people and their decisions, we all know we cannot change other people. We can only obviously control how we respond. And trying to keep that in check is the only way that I can remain calm through anything that I'm dealing with in my personal life as well. Just feeling like, am I safe when it comes down to it? Am I safe from any circumstance that might happen? Absolutely. I will always be safe. I'm not in danger. My brain just is trying to trick me into feeling like I am, but I'm not. I have everything I need and I always will. So I can be content and calm and walking through this situation. And then also allowing some of those emotions that come with dealing with stuff in your personal life, in relationships, letting that live for a little bit, you know, just acknowledging that it's painful and it hurts, but that I've been through things in the past that are painful and they hurt and it's seasonal if I allow it to be.
That's
So,
oh,
yeah.
what a powerful thing. If I allow it to be, if you give it fuel,
Yeah.
it's your choice. That's
Yeah.
empowering. And what I'm hearing you, Rebecca, is just your mindset around it. Really like programming. What are the thoughts I want to
Yeah.
have here? Here's where I might go.
Mhm.
Let me check my thoughts here.
Yeah.
What and how do I reframe to
Right.
a different mindset? I'm hearing you that like continuously do that even as you're navigating a lot of
Mhm.
this heaviness.
Yeah. Yeah, I had this enlightening experience a few years ago. I went through a really, really painful work breakup where I was working in a job. It just wasn't a good fit anymore. The person who owned the business and I had been friends for years, and we kind of agreed that this just wasn't a good fit anymore, but it was extremely, extremely painful. And
Mm.
it just so happened that I had a trip planned with a couple girlfriends where we were going to a spa. I mean, it couldn't have been better timing. I always feel like the universe knows what it's doing, but we went to this beautiful spa in the Sedona Desert in Arizona.
Ah.
And part of that was we went on a guided hike through the desert, and we had a
Mhm.
guide who kind of told us about all of these really cool plants and this environment that we're in and this entire ecosystem. And one of the things that really resonated with me in that moment was that everything belongs. You look around and you look at a cactus and you're like, those needles hurt and they're painful and they could hurt me. And we tend to think of cacti as something that just is painful and it hurts. But at the same time, it belongs in that ecosystem because it empowers other things to exist in that ecosystem as well. And just the whole concept of like everything belongs, even if it's painful,
Mm.
that sat with me forever. I remember sinking into that feeling and being like, okay, this is painful right now, what I'm going through with this job. It wasn't what I had hoped for or planned for, but it belongs. I don't even know why it belongs, but it belongs in this ecosystem of my life.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So it sounds like that's a key learning for
Yeah,
you
absolutely. So
as you're
tell me,
navigating.
yeah,
Yeah, as you're
yeah,
navigating, it's so beautiful.
yeah.
Everything belongs.
I want to hear
So
from you.
reclaim, what I'm
Yeah,
hearing is like reclaim calm. How do you stay
yeah,
calm even when it's messy?
yeah,
What's your mindset? Checking in with yourself. What's the mindset and the perspective I'm holding here right now?
yeah,
Is it serving me or not?
yeah,
And then everything belongs.
yeah.
Beautiful. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Well, I just want to hear about what's going on with you, though. Where is this showing up in your life?
Um, so I don't know if I've shared this on the podcast. So we recently moved, like moved houses and I was living with my in-laws for a few months and then we have moved into a new house and big change. Like just moving 3 kids and the dog and the husband and getting acclimated and all of that was a massive change. Again, kind of like you, a good change, yet
Mhm.
a big, heavy change when you're navigating all of the things. So, um, I'm just now feeling we're been here about 2 months. I think we moved in 2 months ago and just now feeling like settled, like getting
Mhm.
settled, getting back into a rhythm. The kids are fully transitioned, and then lo and behold, it's the season where it's the end of year stuff. So
Yeah.
like, it's like
Yeah.
I'm just feeling settled, and then it's like,
Mhm.
don't get too comfortable here in your
Mhm.
flow because I'm about ready to shake it up again.
Oh God.
Um, so it's good change, but it's a lot. It's a lot to work through all the
Mhm.
things. And
Absolutely.
so what I'm learning, or where I'm winning, is really um checking myself when
Yeah.
I am triggered, right? Or emotionally hijacked is a term I think you and I chat about. Like when you're emotionally hijacked, that you just can't, you're stuck. Like
Yeah.
when I get emotionally hijacked when I'm stuck,
Mm.
is quickly checking in with
Mm.
myself. Like, what is the story? Or even writing it down, like, what's the story I'm telling here?
Right.
Because the biggest thing is their thoughts. And
Mm.
what I've learned as I continue to grow and mature and learn is that they're just thoughts. They're
Yeah.
not actually true.
Yes.
If we allow ourselves to just, so I've had to check myself a lot
Mm.
through this change around my thoughts.
Yeah.
And, and I can't tell you I'm winning all the time, right? It's like building a
Mhm.
muscle or practicing playing a game. I'm
Right.
winning more than I'm losing, but
Mhm.
um
Oh, I
it's
think
really
that's
checking in on my thoughts a lot. And what's the perspective I'm holding here? And is it keeping me stuck? Yes,
yeah.
it's keeping me stuck. Okay, what's a new perspective?
Yeah, that is so powerful. Do you think, I know people say you've got to control your thoughts. Is that even possible? Like when they first emerge, like, is that ever
No,
possible to just control your thoughts?
because they arise out of your subconscious,
Right. I always
right?
felt like I
Like,
was doing something wrong. I'm like, am I the only one here who just, her thoughts just kind of like blast
I
in
mean,
her head and she's.
maybe, I don't know, maybe there's some new thing coming out, or I don't know, that we'll be able to figure it out, but not to my knowledge. Like,
Okay,
and
good.
again, this is a lot of things I do with my clients, even with
Yeah.
my coaching business, is we can't control the thought coming in. They
Yeah.
arise, the thought emerges.
Mm,
What you can do from there
yeah.
is start to check in with yourself. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm having this thought. Where's this coming from? What's the emotion that's here? Is
Right.
this serving me? Is this helpful?
Hmm.
Or is this not serving me? Is this going to keep me stuck?
Right.
What's a new thought I might want to replace that thought with? So I
Yeah.
don't know that we can get into the subconscious and get the thoughts to stop, but we
Right.
definitely, once they emerge,
Yeah.
we get to play with it.
Yeah, I have this belief system that in our brains exists the ego and the observer. In the ego, and I'm not talking about ego as in like, that kind of like narcissistic,
Mm,
reputation that an ego has, but truly the ego is that part of us that just clings on to control and makes judgments instantaneously, which,
mhm,
serves us in some capacity. It keeps us alive when bears are chasing us. And it also kind of sets off those red flags. But the observer is that part of our brain that sits back and says, is this true? Am I really in danger?
mhm.
Is this thought that's passing through truly serving me? Is it the best thought that I could possibly have? And I think that kind of perspective, like you said, just knowing that our thoughts emerge and that you can't necessarily control the thoughts that come up, but you can control your response to them. I think that's extremely a very powerful reminder.
The other thing that I continue to just go back on is the consistency and discipline about my mental fitness practice.
Mhm.
I think in times when you're in big transition, it's the easiest thing to get thrown out.
Yes.
Yet I find that it's like the most important thing to help stay grounded in. So it
Yes.
almost becomes more important that like my mental fitness exercise, and how what has really gotten out of the flown out the window is my consistency and discipline around the physical
Right.
fitness.
Yes.
And I've really had to reset, kind of like you, had to reset expectations. You know what? I'm not going to get the full exercise in during this season, but
Yeah.
I can get 5 or 10 minutes here or there. So resetting for me, I've also had a dial back on what does winning look like in this big change.
Exactly.
And since then, like my mornings, because of the move from now and from February till May, I'm running kids all around it. Like they're still going to the same school, but like I have, and so it's just drained my I'm just a Uber like all morning long, and I have no time to like care for myself unless I get up at 4 a.m. Right. And
Oh
I
my God.
am, I'm getting up some mornings like at 5 to get it all in. But at the same time, it's like but Angie, this is a short season. It's
Yeah.
okay. Like it's
Right.
a short season. Look at what you're doing. Like look what
Right.
you have accomplished. Look at this
Right.
change.
Yeah.
We're in the house. We're thriving. The kids are like still going to
Yeah.
school. We made it work.
Yeah.
I'm hanging in there.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, absolutely. I
so
think there are opportunities in that too. Once you kind of embrace, if there's a little bit of suck, we've talked about like embracing the suck, but then moving forward, like how can you make that, how can you adapt to it and make it a little bit better? So in your case, like maybe the Uber is your opportunity to listen to some really cool podcasts that you've been
and
missing
that's
out on, right?
amen, sister. And that is exactly, I have tuned into some new podcasts that
Yeah,
I'm loving. Yes, keep going. It's like, how do you make it? This is crazy thinking. How can we flip some of the stuff on its head and make it fun?
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that. I like, so this is going to sound completely wacky, but it's a thing I do, and
We
people should
love wacky. We
you
love
should
wacky.
expect this kind of behavior out of me. So, you know how like it's really common for women to go and like just dread swimsuit shopping.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely dread it.
Yeah.
But I do this thing where when I know I've got to go swimsuit shopping and I'm not feeling like I'm in peak physical condition anymore, and I just need to embrace that, I will go and I will find the ugliest swimsuit in the entire lot, and I will take that into the fitting room with all the ones that I'm
Entire lot.
considering.
The entire lot. What is this? A
Oh,
used car? Is this a used car?
I feel like Macy's has an entire lot of swimsuits. You
Lot.
go in there and it's just overwhelming. Anyway, so I pick one out. I find the ugliest one there, the one that I know is going to look just completely ridiculous on my body and anybody's body, probably.
Yeah.
And I take it to the fitting room with all of the prospects from the lot, and I will put that one on first. And I will laugh at myself in the mirror. I will take pictures and send it to my friends and be like, look at this thing. And then from there, I go and I try on the ones that I think I might like. And always, every single time, I'm like, okay, this isn't so bad. I actually look way better. And I feel like it's just
Yeah.
like having fun in that moment that I normally would have absolutely dreaded. Well, in the past, my inner dialogue was very unkind when I would go swimsuit shopping or whatever shopping before. But I'm like, my strategy, I'm just going to go in and find the ugliest thing. It doesn't have to be swimsuits. Just find the
Yeah.
ugliest thing and try that on first. And then you're going to feel better about yourself.
And so it's the what's you've changed the story. What are
Yeah.
the thoughts you're having in that moment, right? What's the emotions around it? So you've shifted it to a little bit of fun. Let's
Right.
laugh. Let's,
Yeah.
share, like, let's connect with some friends with this. Let's have some fun. And then look at the result, how it shifts.
Yeah. And I
You
walk
walk
away.
out with a
Yeah.
swimming suit that you like, that you feel good about.
Yeah.
Like,
And
it's
I've
going to
made my
work.
friends laugh. And
And you've
sometimes,
made the friends
yeah.
laugh.
And sometimes I laugh in the fitting room and there's other people in there and they probably laugh as well, thinking that person is nuts. And I'm good with
Yeah.
that. I'm
Yeah.
totally good with that. I love it.
The other thing that I'm learning and practicing, and I'm going to call it practicing, is being present,
Yeah.
truly
Mm,
allowing myself to experience the change
yeah.
as it's happening.
Yeah.
So there have been some really great moments
Mhm.
that have happened
Yeah. Absolutely.
during the change because I allowed myself to be present in it. We're in a new city. It's not far away from where we moved before, but
Yeah.
I've been like having almost like a beginner's mind. Like I just traveled to a new like I literally am pretending. So talk about pretending like Dora the Explorer just land on like I moved to like a different state or a different country. Like, but it is like I have this mindset around it's a new city. What can we get
Yeah.
to learn? Where
Right.
can we go? Like last Friday, we were at a basketball game and like probably 20 minutes away from our house, and the kids wanted to go get ice cream. And
Mm.
they were going to the new spots. I'm like, no, let's look at what in our new city we live in.
Yeah.
Where's an ice cream shop? And
That's
we
so
stumbled
fun.
upon like a totally cute darling, amazing little, it's called the Malt Shop,
Oh.
like place to get ice cream that's right by our house that so it is like how do you rewrite the story and how
Yeah.
do I instead of being stressed about the change and all the things, how
Mm.
can like I've been looking at it like what can we learn? What can we
Yeah.
explore? How can we so that part's been fun
Yeah.
and energizing
Yeah.
amongst the and being present, like
Yeah.
really trying to be present
Yeah.
Um,
So if I'm
anyway,
hearing us, if I am recapping in one little sentence, everything that we've talked about, it's that being agile and reclaiming some calm during change and transition is really about that mindset.
I think it's our thoughts. It's
Yeah.
understanding, yeah, your thoughts, and then what do you want to do with them? Which is your mindset, right? Like, what's the
Mhm.
mindset? What's the perspective you want to hold
So what is saving
around
your
it?
life right now?
Yeah, let's get into that. What's saving my life right now? So my Vibe and Thrive planner that I use every single day for my mental fitness practice is just, I carry that thing around with me like my cell phone. It's like me, my cell phone, and my Vibe and Thrive
Yeah.
planner. I love that thing.
Hmm.
So I think, again, even more, I use it all the time. It's one of my cruxes, but even in this change, it's just been keeps me grounded.
That's a Vibe and
Um,
Thrive. Is that what it's
it's
called?
called Vibe and Thrive Planner.
Who's that? Who is the creator of that? I feel like you
So
told me.
it was, yeah, it's Judy
Judy
Holler.
Holland.
Judy
That's right.
Holler. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
St. Louis. She's a St. Louis.
St. Louis, yeah, she's rocking it out there. So yeah, you can find, if you just search it up on Vibe and Thrive Planner, it's awesome.
Awesome.
Um, the one though, there's a new one, so this could be saving my life in the future, is a Silk and Sonder. Have you heard of the Silk and Sonder
No.
planners? Anyway, I got a friend that's using it, so I might try to give that a shout. So the other thing that's saving my life right now is I am in a health group. So like a weight loss, but it's not even about the weight loss. It's we're talking about mindset. It's how do you shift your thoughts and your emotions around your health and your weight. So that's saving my life right now. I'm in an amazing group. We meet once a week
Mhm.
and really just putting a lot of focus around how am I fueling my body, tuning into my hunger cues a lot, making sure I'm hydrated, all those things. So
Yeah.
that group is saving my life right now.
I love that. Yeah. So being able to connect and go through life with other people kind of helps you get some perspective and bounce ideas off people too, and not feel like you're alone in this, you know,
Yeah,
this transition through life. I love that. And relying on your organizational skills too. Just knowing that that kind of anchors you that's good, like self-awareness in order to get through
yeah.
that. Good for
You
you.
want to know something small too, and then we'll shift to you.
Yeah.
I started just this week, so it's a new habit of I'm plugging in my phone away from my bed at
Yeah.
night. So I'm
Ooh.
plugging my phone in away from my bed at night.
Yeah.
So what it's doing, it's allowing me to read
Yeah.
because I can't grab my phone, right? So I'm reading now and doing a little bit more journaling, which has been nice, which
Mm,
then I sleep well.
mm,
And then when I get up in the morning, I put it in my closet. I have my vision board. And
mhm.
so I have the phone by my closet. So when the alarm goes off, now I'm right in front of my vision board.
That is
And
so
it's
smart.
been awesome to
Mhm.
just start there.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing then is just getting up and moving because I was in this really bad habit since we've moved. I
Mm.
can't get myself up as early as I want. So that is saving my life right now this week. I hope to continue the practice. It's gone good so well so far this week. We'll see, but just getting my phone away from my bed.
That's the coolest. That reminded me of something that I started doing this week as well, related to my phone. So I've had so many things going on with work or whatever that I just cannot be interrupted. I absolutely cannot. And I always feel like things like texts and Teams messages, if you're using
Mhm.
Teams, it's just like the equivalent of somebody walking into your office when you are in an in-person office and just starting to talk. And I'm like, I
Yes.
cannot, like, if somebody just walk in and start talking.
Yes.
So I'm like, I cannot. So I put my phone on do not disturb. And because my husband and my kids are still listed as like favorites, I have it set up so that if they need me, if they need to text me, if they need to call me, it comes through. But everybody else, it doesn't. It just, I have that privacy. And I usually in the past had only done that during a meeting or work or whatever when I didn't want to be interrupted. I've just let that baby fly all around the clock. I'm like, you know what? Nobody gets to
Yeah.
disturb me right now. If I want to
Yeah.
look at my phone and see for myself what's going on, I'll do that. But nothing is usually that important that somebody needs to actually get through to me in that very moment that they need to get through to me. I've got to like keep that in check. So that has
That's
really helped
so
me
you've set a
stay calm.
boundary and you're
Yeah.
holding a boundary.
Yes. And it's
And
been
you'll get
so
back to
nice.
them, right? Like
Yeah.
you'll get back to it, but it's just not I
Yeah.
can't get back to it immediately.
Right. And it's nothing against them, of course. It's just more like
No,
me preserving my time so that when I do get back to them, I'm not like in any way, shape, or form irritated that I
scattered.
had to get
Yeah,
back to them at that moment because it's not
totally.
their fault.
Yeah,
So yeah, so that's one thing. And the other thing that's saving my life right now is therapy. I just
yeah,
like love therapy so much. And I've always done cognitive behavioral therapy, and I kind of got to the point with that therapist. I was with her for 10 years. She is amazing. I refer everybody there, and I swear to God, I should have some like bonus points or like some
like
credit.
get a
I should
free session. Like
I
if you
should.
refer to like 10 clients, you get
I'm like an accidental influencer for her. So I
a
refer everybody, but I just got to this point where I knew what she was going to say. When I came to her with my issues, I knew what she was going to say. So it's just timely that I recently started with a new therapist that somebody had recommended, and his approach is very different, and I'm excited to explore that and see what I learn from it. But the timing is just right, and I'm committed to that. I need that. And so instead of just having like, setting an appointment when I need it, I just proactively got on a schedule, and I'm like, I'm going to
yeah,
see you every so often for a while, same date, same day of the week, same time. And that is saving my life right now, because even if I feel like, oh, I don't know if I have the energy to talk about my situations right now, it never feels bad when you leave, even if it
never.
was painful while you're there, it's like taking a warm bath for your soul. Like I walk out
Yes.
of there and I'm like, okay, I can deal with this. Like I've got new tools. So
Yeah, it's what you said at the beginning. It's asking for help when you need
yes.
help, right? And it
Yeah.
to me, that's an act of, and you and I both. So we're in coaching groups, we're in
Yeah.
therapy. Like it's just, it's
Yeah.
you go to the gym for your physical fitness. This is us talking about how we're working through our mental and emotional fitness. And it's
Absolutely.
just as important,
Yeah.
right? That is allowing us to stay calm and agile as we're
Yeah.
navigating as life happens.
Absolutely.
The good change and even the hard and difficult change.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. So, Rebecca, what's one thing you're taking away or you want
Yeah.
our listeners to take away today?
I'm just taking 100 things away, but I think if there's one thing that our listeners can do when they are going through change and transition and it's feeling a little messy, just embrace, just let it be for a little bit, and know that if you honor the feelings that are coming up and you get the perspective to question some of those toxic thoughts that may be emerging in that time because you're feeling squeezed, just challenge that, let it come up. And as soon as you process what it is that you are needing to go through, you will reclaim your calm. It's the cycle. It's just what happens because everything belongs.
Yeah, everything belongs. Beautiful.
Yeah,
I think that's a wrap.
I think
Eh,
that is a wrap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for
absolutely.
joining us today, y'all. Be well. What in the well? We'll see you next time.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode of What in the Well. Be sure to review, rate, and subscribe to our podcast. And if you have a topic you'd like us to cover, share it in the comments. Stay well until we meet again.